Good afternoon. It's the Pit Stop, and boy, oh boy, we look back here in the Look Back Show to Martinsville Raceway last weekend, where we got the Championship 4, and we know who they are now, and what a weekend of racing it was. Overtimes, battling it out, guys missing the playoff, Final Four, Championship 4 by just a couple points. Some unexpected winners, threw some wrinkles into that, and what a weekend of racing it was. And here on this show, we look back at the racing over the weekend. At the end of the show, we do have updated news there on that 2311 Front Row Motorsports, of course, lawsuit that is set for trial here coming up on December 1st. So we do have that news here. Later on in the week, we do our Look Ahead show, which will be on Thursday. And I posted here at Robat TV on the YouTube page that we have for shows that we, manage here and produce here. The Main Event, McCollum on Business, the Pit Stop, the Real Matrix as well, all on that YouTube page. And of course, we get these shows posted here for the Pit Stop on your favorite podcast system as well. So the Look Ahead show to Phoenix and set up that and make our predictions comes out on Thursday of the week. But now we look back at Martinsville here and with the news out there. And, last weekend, we got the Championship 4, people that are racing for that here in Phoenix. But it was just a fun weekend of racing, kind of drama-filled. Not necessarily on the winner side. For instance, on the trucks here that we'll start with, right? Corey Heim did what he has done most of the season, and he did it the same at Martinsville, right? He was already in the Championship 4. He won both stages of this race here in Martinsville in the Truck Series on his way to his 11th victory of the season. This has extended his series record, and he led a race-high 77 laps. He did beat Caden Honeycutt to finish to the finish line. He did win there by about half a second. I think it was 0.45 seconds roughly, and it was in the overtime finish for Corey Heim. So Corey Heim, no surprise, Corey Heim won this race. No surprise, Corey Heim dominated. He's done so all year as well. But what was kind of interesting to watch and very interesting to watch was who was going to advance in the playoffs. All that drama, well, it happened behind Corey Heim's win there in the Truck Series. Honeycutt finished his career best second in this race. Now, highest he's ever finished. And what a race to do it in. Because he needed that second place spot because he ousted Lane Riggs from the playoffs on a tiebreaker. They finished with the same points, and the tiebreaker rewards the best finish in a given playoff round. Caden Honeycutt was second. Lane Riggs came in third. Lane Riggs eliminated by one spot there in the playoffs to not move on to the Championship 4 in the Truck Series. So lots of drama from that perspective, right? Defending series champion Ty Majeski finished 7th. Tyler Ankrum finished 9th, which means they did secure the last two spots there in the Championship 4 coming up this Friday night here in Phoenix. We'll talk about that, of course, in our Look Ahead show coming up. By the way, that spot, Tyler Ankrum, one spot ahead of Honeycutt. 1 point, I should say, Honeycutt and Riggs here as well for them. So 2 playoff contenders. Well, in the Truck Series, I had high hopes for Roger Caruth to get there. Well, his hopes advancing that Championship 4 finished early in the race as well. It's kind of some non-drama also here. On lap 73, side-by-side contact with Honeycutt's Toyota. Well, it ended up cutting the left rear tire on Roger Caruth's truck, and caused him to have some problems the rest of the day. Caruth slowed suddenly. He actually spun in turn 1. Then hit that outside wall, and it was a big hit there as well. It knocked him out of the race after that hit. So he entered the race 14 points to the positive above the cut line. Well, he was out of the running for the title at that moment. Kind of disappointing end there for Roger Caruth. The other gentleman, Daniel Hemrick there. He needed a victory in order to advance in this race. He had technically some points chance to do so. It was a very, very uphill battle for him. But Daniel Hemrick, well, he sustained huge damage to basically the whole car there when he was sandwiched on lap, I believe it was 29. It was 28, 29 there on that restart there. Lane Riggs missed his shift there, and Daniel Hemrick out of this race as well, and officially eliminated from the race early on. here as well. So Hemrick's truck was overheating. Now, he lost 2 laps under repairs. He failed to score points in either of the first 2 stages. And it just had to come down to the winning at that point from that side. So Hemrick did get back up on the lead lap. But the hopes for the championship they were gone at that point. He couldn't get up there. And then on lap 166, he ended up just driving his truck to the garage, dropped him out of the race, finished 31st, and obviously no winning. So he was eliminated from this as well. So Grant Effinger was the other truck driver eliminated here from playoff contention. He entered the race 40 points below the elimination line. He had to win this race as well. He ended up finishing 12th. So Grant Effinger also eliminated here in the truck series. So the drama was beforehand, and I mean Lane Riggs tied up Caden Honeycutt there and ended up losing because one finished second and Lane Riggs finished third. I mean, that's heartbreak city for those playoff drivers that got eliminated that close out there. So let's look really quick at the playoff standings, specifically after Martinsville here. Now, this is before any resets out there. So you can see, right, Corey Heim had 2 wins, so of course he advances to the round of 8. Ty Majeski moves on. Tyler Ankrum moves on as well. And then Caden Honeycutt, as I said, wins the tiebreaker over Lane Riggs, who lost that tiebreaker at that point. Roger Carruth, Grant Effinger, Daniel Hemrick, well, they needed the wins there, weren't able to get that, so they were out of it. But what a final spot there, and playoff spot there, and what a battle between Caden Honeycutt and Lane Riggs here in this Truck Series race. So now we're down to the Final 4, right? Defending champion Ty Majeski out there, Corey Heim, who's dominated this series and everything. It's going to be a fun Final 4 coming up. We'll talk more about that in our look ahead show coming up later in the week. But first, here's Lane Riggs after the race, and he was eliminated. Let's check in with Lane here. Truck 4, please.
Yeah, I was dejected even when I thought we were in at first. I just don't like racing that way, man. Like, I'm hearing got to get one, and everybody knows how it is. I mean, if I got the opportunity to get in for my team, I'm going to do it, even if I don't want to do it the way I do. So, I mean, I got there at the end. I mean, I hate I roughed up the one. Glad it still finished pretty good. But, yeah, man, it all kind of started with that missed shift on that restart. I'm not really sure what happened. I've never missed a shift in a truck in my whole career. And we do have some new transmissions. I guess I'm just not quite used to them yet. So pretty upset about that. I think things could have been a lot different. But, I mean, it all started at the Roval, getting turned around lap 1, go to Talladega, having all the issues we had. I said definitely dejected. I would have been dejected if we were even in 4th. I just don't like it, man.
I mean, look, when you're eliminated from he said he would be dejected if he was in 4th. He'd be a little happier, right? But look, he's just recounting right off the top of his head all the missed opportunities in this round to move on. And Lane Riggs was the second best driver in the Truck Series this year. And now he's not moving on to that championship 4 out there. So let's just look, if you don't know how this works, the playoff points get reset here for the championship race this weekend in Phoenix. So Truck 2 here is what we're looking for. This is the playoff points. Everybody starts at 4,000. Basically, the highest driver to finish, the guy that finishes the highest, is going to be your Truck Series champion. So even if every driver gets eliminated in lap 30, whoever makes it the farthest gets to win the championship out there. So Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Ty Majeski, and then Tyler Ankrum are the 4 drivers in at this point. Corey Heim's the favorite going into this weekend, no doubt about that. But look, Ty Majeski has won a championship here in Phoenix. He's going to be a competitor out there coming into this race. So basically, the top finisher moves on. That's all you care about coming up this weekend in Phoenix. So let's check in with Corey Heim after the race. He won it. He's going into Phoenix here with the chance to win his championship. Truck 3.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions yet, man. We got a big race next week, and like we talked about, I wanted the momentum going to Phoenix, keep all our guys with heads held high, and you know what they're working on going into Phoenix, and I feel like it was definitely a rocky race there, getting behind our track position, but we wanted to capitalize on our day and make the most of it. So really didn't think we had the truck that we had in the spring, but once we got out front, it really showed that we had something to work with here. So just so grateful for Truck-On Garage, Toyota, Safe Flight, Mobile One, Celsius, just everyone that's gotten me to this point so far, and got a big one next week to close it out. So it's going to be tough, but I'm confident we can do it.
He's very positive. Why wouldn't he be, right? With the amount of winning he's done here in this Truck Series. But he's going up against guys. Well, one guy specifically, defending champion, right? Ty Majeski won here in Phoenix last year as a championship. Let's check in with Ty. Truck 5.
Not the fashion we wanted to do it in, Todd. Felt like we missed a little bit as a 98 team. Joe and I work really closely together on what to put in these trucks week in and week out. So just missed it as a group tonight. But the biggest thing was persevering, qualifying well, getting stage points early, and being sort of on in a good spot going into stage 3. And some of the other guys got desperate and paid for it. So just stayed the course. Got shoved in the wall off of 2. I thought I had a flat right front. Obviously a lot happened tonight, but proud of everybody with curb records, soda sense. We're gonna go defend try and defend our title.
I mean, look, he's got the experience coming into here. I would not rule him out here. What he can do here in Phoenix as well. And then Caden Honeycutt, right? He gets in this race, finishes second, wins in a tiebreaker there for that final playoff spot, knocking Lane Riggs out. Let's check in with Caden here, Truck 6.
It's awesome, man. It's just thanks to Stuart, Toyota, HFR, for the opportunity to even step in his seat for him and do a good job for him. And like I said, the part of this playoffs, man, I wanted to do it so damn bad for Stuart and this race team. This playoff run was for them more than it was myself, and I should have very easily been on the couch in July and watching the rest of this year and not been in this playoff contention. And it's thanks to amazing people like Chris Larson, Jimmy, Hal Hankey, Mohawk Northeast, Hallmark International that just lets me have the opportunity to race them, man. Toyota, and I'm so thankful to be a part of this manufacturer next year and just keep this draw rolling, man. I'm so grateful, and we'll get to go to Phoenix next week and get to fight for it. Regardless if we win it or not, it's been an amazing season for me, and just the fact that I even got here is pretty incredible.
I mean, you can see the differences, right? Ty, defending champions, been there before. A little bit of confidence, right, coming into Phoenix to defend it. Of course, Corey Heim, a lot of confidence. Then you've got Honeycutt there, who wins in that tiebreaker. Kind of emotional, just happy to be here, as you heard him say. And then you got Tyler Ankrum coming into this Final Four as well. Let's check with him after that Martinsville race, Truck 7.
I'm going to church tomorrow. I haven't been in a couple years, but I'm freaking going to church tomorrow. Started that third stage, came down to pit road. We had a top 5 truck, and we were just, depending on the restart, whether we were there 4th, the 5th, the 6th. We had a pit gun brake on the left front, and it was just like, oh no. Like, this is it. This is how the the dream ends, right? But no, it was a good effort by everyone. I could see it on the pylon. It was like +2 with like that second or third restart to go, and it was just like time to go. It's so tight in points, so I can't thank Laguna enough. Chevrolet, MHR, everybody.
It's real.
Yes, thank you.
It's amazing to see. Like, if you sit back, these are young kids, of course, in this Truck Series. To sit back and just see each one of their reactions to getting into this championship four, coupled with some confidence, coupled with, hey, we made it. One that wants to go to church, because of how he was able to qualify for the championship four. This is going to be a fun little race this weekend. Obviously, Corey Heim's the favorite. Can there be an upset going into this weekend in the Cup Series? We'll talk more about that coming up here in our Look Ahead show coming out on Thursday here, Robat TV, and on the free YouTube page as well. And Truck Series is going to be Friday night here in Phoenix coming up. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and watching that. And then we got the Xfinity Series, right? Unexpected winner there. And congratulations to Taylor Gray. Gets his first NASCAR Xfinity Series victory last Saturday night there at Martinsville for him. Finally gets that first win. He pulled away from Sammy Smith. Another overtime restart there. It was lap 252 for that overtime restart. He held on to win on that race. Gray had gotten up to the lead after that restart on lap 202. He held it the rest of the way after that through those overtimes as well for Taylor Gray. So unexpected driver winning there. Now, the interesting thing about this right now, it comes down to the point side of things. We already know Connor Zilic and Justin Allgaier, well, they had already clinched their spots in the championship four based off of points coming into this race, which means there's 2 spots left here coming up as well. Well, Jesse Love, we talked about him last week. I said Jesse Love's going to advance into this with his 40-point cushion above the elimination line. He had a very rough evening out there, right? A lot of errors happening to him and his team, including pit road penalties. He had 2 of them there as well. He ended up finishing 23rd. Jesse Love gave me a scare if he would be able to advance the way they ran at Martinsville from that perspective. But he does eventually advance by 18 points over Brandon Jones at that point. Then, kind of just luck of the draw, I guess you can say, that side. When Taylor Gray took that checkered flag, well, he kept the other 2 playoff drivers that needed wins in order to advance. Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones. They finished 2nd and 3rd in this race. And when Taylor Gray won, that put Carson Vappel up into the championship 4 just by not allowing one of those guys that needed to win from that perspective. So Carson Vappel knows a lot there to Taylor Gray as well. So Vappel advances because the 2nd and 3rd place guys were not able to advance. So this is how close this Xfinity series was as well, right? Taylor Gray wins, non-playoff driver now out of it. You had Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, Sheldon Creed, 2, 3, and 4 in this race. All 3 of them needed a win in order to advance. Not able to get that win for them there, and that's how you get the rookie. You have 2 rookies in this championship 4 coming up here at Phoenix Raceway this weekend. So Vappel did sound, he was secure in points. You were confident he was moving on. And then that Ryan Sieg and Harrison Burton accident there, collision, well, got him caught up in that endo as well. He went spinning, Carson's car did, lap 227. We started from 30th place in the final 17 laps of regulation. He was able to get up there, move into the spots to advance by nobody else winning there as well. Ends up advancing by 4 points over Jones, 5 points over Sammy Smith as well into this side. So nail-biting experience and with guys ready to pounce on that and advance by winning in this series when they needed to. Nobody was able to get past that point, and that means Sammy Smith and Brandon Jones, well, they were eliminated, obviously, finishing 2nd and 3rd. Just think how close those guys were to advancing into the 4 and how disappointing that has to be. And then there's Sam Mayer. I thought Sam Mayer would advance, right? I had Lane Riggs in the truck, Sam Mayer in this one, advancing in this round. I was pretty confident about him. My experience on Sam Mayer, my trust in him advancing has wavered a little bit less and less and less over the race 1 in this round. I kind of went a little bit less. Race 2, I was a little bit less confident, but I still thought he could get there. He finished 7th at Martinsville and also eliminated with that finish as well. Then you got Sheldon Creed. He needed that win. He ended up finishing 4th, as I said, in this race as well. So I know the focus is on the playoff drivers. Obviously, rightfully so. We have the championship 4. But look, anytime you get your first win in a series, in the Xfinity Series, we're going to go to you after the race. Taylor Gray after the race, Xfinity 1.
Gosh, about damn time I get me a clock, baby! Woo! Man. Woohoo! Man, I cannot thank everybody on this 54 team. Such an awesome race car. Way faster, way faster. I'm not going to say than Xfinity Mobile, but just as fast.
I think you just did.
I know. My bad, Xfinity. Man, Jason Ratcliffe, all these guys, the pit crew did an awesome job tonight. Everybody on this group bring awesome race cars to this racetrack and give me an opportunity to race for one every time I come here.
Look, exciting first win. You got to celebrate the first win. If you don't know, it's a big grandfather clock you win, I guess, there at Martinsville. So that's why he was saying, give me the clock, baby, from that perspective. So he wins, good first win for him. Well, now let's focus back on the playoff side of things. Carson Vappel, of course, doesn't win the race, but gets into the championship 4 because, well, the 3 guys that needed a win weren't able to do so. Let's check in with Carson here after the race, Xfinity 2.
It was probably the most nerve-wracking racing I've done in my career. Obviously, we were sitting in a pretty good spot before we got turned around there, and I thought we were in a good situation to just kind of ride it out and try not to make any enemies and just try to finish the race out. And obviously, once we got turned around there, I'm not sure. It might have been my fault. I really don't know. I haven't seen a replay, but when that happened, I kind of was like, oh, we're done. But this whole number 1 group really fought hard all race long to give us a opportunity to get to the spot to be in the Final Four, and I just can't thank them enough for that. But like I said, everyone, thank you. Like I said, all the guys brought me a Cars Fest Xfinity Mobile at Martinsville here, and I thought our Bass Pro, Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shops, Clarence Chevrolet was on rails all day. It's just that first stage didn't really go the way we wanted it to. I thought we were going to have a little bit better pace than that and bank some stage points, but we weren't able to do that, and we had to do that in stage 2, which put us in a hole for stage 3. But it all worked out, so definitely happy and gonna be really excited going to Phoenix.
Yeah, it's Carson Kvapil. I just have a hard time saying his last name. It's nothing to do with him. I don't mean any disrespect. I just have a hard time saying it, to be honest with you. My tongue gets a little bit tied there, but he advances. You saw, he thought his race day was over when he got turned around in that accident there with Ryan Sieg and Harrison Burton, but able to advance based off of who didn't win. I mean, just like I said, in the Truck Series, right? Lane Riggs gets to the point, finishes third in that. He actually thought he was advancing, loses in that tiebreaker. Now, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, Sheldon Creed needed that win. 2, 3, and 4. Just heartbreak city here for guys battling it out for those 4 spots at that point. So, kind of like I showed you in the Truck Series coming up here. Basically, points for the championship 4. This will be Xfinity 3, if we can throw that up there. Everything resets. Everybody starts at the same points. For those of you that don't follow the sport and watch us, first of all, thank you very much. Hopefully, we're making this entertaining for you in order to watch the races or at least pay attention to it. Well, everybody starts here. The highest finishing driver is the one that wins the championship, whether they cross the start-finish line or not. The driver of these 4 there. Connor Zilisch is the favorite going into this weekend. And 2 rookies, Connor Zilisch and Carson. Well, they're both rookies here on this series. Of course, Connor Zilisch moving up to the Cup Series next year. Excuse me. Justin Allgaier is Connor Zilisch's teammate as well. Watch out for them. He can do some damage here. Former champion here in the Xfinity Series. This is going to be a fun race to watch this weekend on Saturday over at Phoenix Raceway. With that, after the race news, well, some people weren't happy they were eliminated out there. Right? NASCAR Senior Vice President of Competition. If you don't know, his name is Elton Sawyer. He came out earlier today, and he said that series officials are going to further examine Sam Mayer because after the checker flag flew there at Martinsville, not too happy. He ended up wrecking Jeb Burton after that checkered flag in that Xfinity race there at Martinsville. Not a good thing to do. They generally frown on things like that. Here's what the quote was from Elton Sawyer. Quote, having that type of incident after the checkered flag, it's just something we're not going to tolerate. Sawyer said, and he said all that on Sirius XM NASCAR radio. He said, quote, we'll get with our team today, discuss it, and see what the next steps are. I mean, he definitely wrecked him. He was angry about the finish there. And definitely wrecked him. There will be a punishment coming. The question is, what will it be? A suspension? Something to that effect? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll have more on that coming up in our Look Ahead show on Thursday as well. So this has been competitive. These races have been fun. And, in the case of the Xfinity, you had 3 guys that needed a win, battling it out, trying to get that win. In the case of the truck, right, 1 guy eliminated, off of tiebreaker points there. And it's been a battle here in this playoff round. I get people don't like this format. I get people complain about this format. But this is a fun format in my eyes. It's just the battling it out. If you didn't like it, I don't know. It even made the Monday race, right? The Charlotte Roval. Made that mundane race, made it interesting because there are playoff spots on the line. And otherwise, that would have just been a snoozer of a race there in Charlotte as well. So when we come on back here at the pit stop, well, let's move ahead to the Cup Series. Another surprise winner, and playoffs affected with the win there as well. We'll talk about that, the excitement in the Cup Series that happened. I do have updates for you on the 2311 Front Row Motorsports lawsuit with NASCAR. A lot of legal stuff happening here. Is there a settlement coming? Well, Denny Hamlin last week at Martinsville said, no, we aren't settling. I don't know. I think that's just tough talk. We'll talk about that coming up. So come on back here at the pit stop. And we're back here at the pit stop. Yes. Hit up the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, and the excitement there at Martinsville and getting those playoff championship for drivers. Of course, this is the Look Back show. We look back at the racing over the weekend in Martinsville. This weekend, well, we got the championship four here in Phoenix. And so we'll do our look ahead show coming up on Thursday. We look at the Phoenix race. Predictions coming up here. We look at a lot of statistics to kind of give us if we have who our winners will be coming up. Obviously, Connor Zilic, Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity Series are good shots. Corey Heim in the Truck Series, favored to win it there. Can we get Ty Majeski to defend his title is the question. Then you got the NASCAR Cup Series, guys, coming up on Sunday. Don't forget time change this weekend as well with this race coming up here. And it's always the championship races always has the time change involved, and it's kind of fun being out there for that because you forget, and then you get kind of caught up. We will be out there this weekend as well, getting all of the action out there. But in the Cup Series, well, William Byron got that shot he was looking for to win the title here, and he did so by winning at Martinsville over the weekend. He needed it as a must-win race for him. He went out there and led 3 times for a total of 304 laps. That's a career best for William Byron. He did beat Ryan Blaney, who also needed to win this race to advance, and he beat him to the finish line by just small margins, 0.717 seconds after that restart there with 11 laps left. And William Byron gets the win there at Martinsville to advance into the playoffs. Here's how it went down. This is an exciting winning here, right? Ryan Blaney has the lead and is in control of this race at this moment. William Byron's coming up behind him, trying to get that lead here coming up, as I just said here, with just few laps remaining here. William Byron never gives it up after this. Here's how the pass happened. Cup 1.
Is there an opportunity? He's going for it. William Byron on the inside, and he loosens up the 12 of Ryan Blaney and takes the race lead.
But the 12 is still there. The 12 is still close enough to return the favor.
He was not able to return the favor. The 12 car was kind of fading at that point. So that was lap 457. That was during a long green flag run. And then William Byron held that top spot for that final 44 laps in that race going into that side. So battled it out. Ryan Blaney could not redo that magic of winning there at Martinsville to advance on into the final. Finished second in that race as well. So heartbreak for him. Well, let's check in with William Byron after the race. Cup 2.
Damn, I got a lot to say. Things have a way of working out, and God really tests your resilience a lot of times, and we've been tested, and just unbelievable. I'm out of breath. Thank you, fans, for coming out. Badass crowd. I watched my first NASCAR race up there just before start-finish line, and man, I am just so thankful, excited to see my family and just celebrate this one. We obviously go to Phoenix and just go try to kick ass there.
You mentioned all that you have been through and this team has been through, and you and I have talked about it. These playoffs have been frustrating for you guys. Have you ever been through more emotional swings in 10 weeks to get to this point?
No, I mean, you just work so hard. All these guys work so hard, and you put everything into Sundays, and sometimes you don't get anything in return, and that's been the last couple weeks, and honestly throughout the year we had some close calls, but yes, sometimes life is that way, but you just got to keep being resilient, and we were, and just feels damn good.
I mean, look at the excitement, right? Needed to win there, gets that win. Frustrating playoffs for them. William Byron, of course, with Hendrick Motorsports advances on as well, which means Ryan Blaney finishing second, needed to win in this race. He was my pick to win this race, and I was pretty confident there for a lot of that race he was going to end up doing it. Gets eliminated after finishing second. Let's check in with Ryan Blaney after the race. Cup 4.
Yeah, I look back on that long run before the last yellow where William got by me, and I just got loose. Trying to work through lap cars. My rear drive was fading quick. I tried to manage a lot in the beginning, but just was starting to fade, and I was trying to protect. That's just two guys going for it. I mean, I don't blame them for taking that. I kind of lost momentum, and I would have done the same thing, to be honest with you. I knew it was going to be tight, and I tried to crowd as much as I could, but I'm just so proud of the effort by this whole 12 group. Appreciate Discount Tire and Ford, Menards, everybody who puts a lot into our program. Starting where we did and making the ground up we made early was really impressive, and they gave me a great car and race trim, and getting the lead was great. And yeah, 24 is just a little better than us at the end. Just I seemed to lose a little bit rear drive quicker than he did, and he was able to keep it longer than me. That's how he got the lead. And then I thought I got a good restart the last one, and kind of entered up top, tried to carry speed, and he just motored right around me on the bottom. It's pretty impressive, but just proud of the effort. It's a shame we're not going to Phoenix as part of the championship floor, but we'll be doing the best we can to finish the year out strong. And but I'm just proud of, like I said, the 12 guys. They gave 100% of what they had, and that's really all you can ever ask for. It just wasn't quite enough tonight, but we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Penske car not in the championship four is kind of a shocker, especially over these last several years. So it is a big deal to see that out there as well. So when we came into this race, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin both had secured spots moving into the championship four. Christopher Bell was in the third spot. He was 1 point ahead of Kyle Larson, who was in the fourth spot, which was above the cut line. They're coming into this race. Well, the Byron's victory the surprise victory, not only just knocked out Ryan Blaney, but it also knocked out, who ended up being a seventh-place finisher, Christopher Bell, out of the championship race. Bell came into Martinsville 37 points above the elimination line. Like I said, 1 point ahead Larson, and not able to do it because of the new winner there on that side. The other side of it is Kyle Larson actually outpointed and passed Christopher Bell. Last week in our Look Ahead show, I said the battle between Larson and Bell is going to have to be who can get into that third spot in case a new winner happens from the underneath the cut line or somebody outside the playoffs. Kyle Larson was able to get ahead of Christopher Bell, which meant Christopher Bell got eliminated from the playoffs. So William Byron saves us from 3 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers here in the championship four. Instead, we get 2 Hendricks with Kyle Larson passing Christopher Bell in those points and getting that 4th spot. 2 Hendrick drivers and 2 Joe Gibbs drivers battling it out this weekend as well. So the other guys eliminated. Chase Elliott, he finished 3rd in this race. He needed a win to advance, was not able to get it. So he was eliminated from these playoffs. And then Joey Logano, of course, Team Penske, Ryan Blaney's teammate. He finished 8th in this race. He needed to win as well, so he is eliminated from the playoffs as well. And I already told you Kyle Larson is the 4th driver that's advancing on Hendrick Motorsports. He finished 5th in the race. He outscored Christopher Bell and claimed that final championship 4 spot. He outdid Christopher Bell by 7 points here in this race to clinch that 4th and final spot. Let's check in with Kyle Larson after the race, after clinching that final spot, Cup 3.
Well, I just, a couple times I just wanted to stay green, and then the 77 was in like every caution tonight. So restarts, I felt, good about my car on restarts, but you just never know how the aggression's going to pick up, and, everybody's give a shit factor goes out the window there. So, but we had good enough track position all day. We were kind of out of the, mess, I guess. And that was good. So my HendrickCars.com Chevy was fast. Our pit crew was on it all night, and what a performance by William. That's awesome. I thought when the 12 gained control of the race, it was going to be, really hard for anybody to beat him. But, William did a great job on the restarts and just kept positioning himself, and then was good enough to get by him on that long run. And then, I was surprised on the restart there. The 2 tires were as good as they were. So happy for him, happy for our team, happy for Hendrick Motorsports. This win as good as it, could have for us, for us to score more points than Christopher and then have, William or Chase win too. So glad, we can give Mr. H an opportunity next week, and hopefully, one of us can win it. But yeah, I'm proud of everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. I feel like we've been just progressing so much throughout the playoffs, and to put 2 cars in the championship 4 is awesome. So thanks everybody there. Thanks Chevrolet, everybody, Valvoline, everyone who's a part of this team, and we'll see if we can go be a few spots better next week.
Yeah, I mean, look at optimism for Kyle Larson going into this week. Yeah, huge shout out, team player there as well, talking about the team and advancing on, having two drivers here in the championship for as well. So let's look at the points after Martinsville, because I told you Christopher Bell got outpointed there by Kyle Larson for that spot. This will be Cup 5 if we can get that up there for you. So obviously William Byron, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin advance. And as we talked about in that look-ahead show last Thursday, I said the Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell are going to have to battle it out to get that third spot in case there was a new winner. That happens. Kyle Larson advances there, 7 points up on Christopher Bell. And as you see, Logano, Blaney, Elliott had to win to move on. And Ryan Blaney was right there. Second spot, had control of the race there for a little bit, not able to finish it out there with William Byron passing him up from that perspective. So two heavyweight teams going at it in terms of ownership. Two Joe Gibbs Racing and Chase Briscoe. Denny Hamlin going into this weekend, and two Hendrick Motorsports. They are the most dominant teams on this course. They are the most dominant and have the most money, the most R&D done here between all of the teams. And this is a heavyweight battle here coming into Phoenix for this championship 4 coming up. So even though you know the story here, let's throw up the points for the championship 4 and where we stand. Yep, everything is identical as the other two series, but the driver with the best finish, whether it be victory lane, win the race, whether they finish 5th, whether they finish 20th, they just have to be the highest ranking driver of these 4 in order to move on. And look, these are 4 guys that can easily win the championship this weekend. They have speed, which you need at Phoenix. And for the long green runs, they have really good pit stops. They have really good things. Denny Hamlin's a little shaky on that. William Byron maybe as well. Man, could we see a Chase Briscoe championship win this weekend in Phoenix? We'll talk about that on the Look Ahead show coming up here on a Thursday of this week. So, look, before we get out of here on this Look Back show, I enjoyed this racing playoff series. It battled it out. Some of the courses, like I said, the Charlotte Roval, I thought that was just a garbage race, just a slow, boring race out there. But what made it interesting, of course, Ross Chastain's battle at the end with Joey Logano to allow Logano to advance and knock Ross Chastain out. So there was some excitement there, right, into this race. Like the truck race here at Martinsville wasn't spectacular per se, but Corey Heim gets the win, but the drama was behind with who can win from that perspective. And this has been a fun, I like this format. This has been a fun format. I know there's talks about changing those formats coming up, but that's where we are now, and I've had some fun here with the seasons going into Championship 4. Before we get out of here, just some news updates for you. On Monday of this week, the parties, 2311 Front Row Motorsports and NASCAR, all filed their trial briefs in the antitrust lawsuit that they have. The trial date is December 1st, coming up after the NASCAR season and everything. Trial briefs are in. They're posted if you want to read that stuff. I think we've heard a lot of the information out there and everything. Judge Bell today, or excuse me, not today, Judge Bell on Tuesday, today, for those of you that are watching, Judge Bell dismissed NASCAR's counterclaim against 2311 and Front Row Motorsports in that summary judgment ruling. He put that out there, and he said the counterclaim asserts that rather than the 2025 charters being fair and balanced, NASCAR is the alleged victim in an illegal cartel made up of the Cup Series racing teams, who they say collectively forced NASCAR to pay too much to the teams through unlawful joint negotiations. Well, the judge dismissed that right out of the court there. So just a procedural thing to get that out of the way. NASCAR was, throwing mud on the wall to see if it would stick. Well, it did not from that side. Now the big question is here. Denny Hamlin last week there at Martinsville was asked. He was in depositions. He was doing some other stuff last week going into Martinsville. And, their lawyer, 2311 Front Row Motorsports lawyer, is adamant there will be no settlement. I believe there's going to be a settlement. I believed it for a while there, even though they're playing tough on the 2311 Front Row Motorsports side. Because I think they know they're going to lose the overall war. They won some battles. They've lost some battles. They're going to take a chunk out of NASCAR, even if they lose this coming up. But what they're deathly afraid of, if they lose this, they will not have a charter. And what do they do then? Shut down, sponsorships, etc. So I do believe a settlement is coming. And then on jski.com. You can follow them for NASCAR news and stuff like that. They have an article out today that says the developments that have happened over the last week or so, well, it suggests that a settlement could be coming before the December 1st trial date between the two parties as well. So here's what they're saying here, because over the past week, just little subtle things have happened out there, right? And things. So Jayski says they interviewed 8 team owners and executives, as well as 2 league officials with NASCAR, all granted anonymity, if I may say that, so they could speak freely about the team's negotiations and what's happening behind the scenes. Jayski says that these groups shed light on the process as well, and they even said that they seemed it was headed for a resolution from the insiders in the sport after that 2-day settlement last week. So, by the way, they also said that they looked like there would be a settlement last week, and they broke down at the final hours of the agreements and arguing and stuff like that. So one of the NASCAR's top executives, according to this group, is making a push to strike a deal in advance of Championship 4 this weekend coming up here. So they want it as soon as then and not going past it as well. So one of the main hurdles in this battle is the charter system, as you guys know. If you've been following the show, we've been telling you that. How fair is the charter system? Are they making enough money, et cetera, et cetera? But one of the major hurdles in that process is NASCAR's willingness to explore teams, to give teams more flexibility and leverage in future charter negotiations. NASCAR kind of strong-armed the teams in these negotiations and said, here's our deal, take it or leave it. Everybody took it except for 2311 and Front Row Motorsports. They want more flexibility in the negotiations and more conversations. NASCAR has apparently acquiesced to that here over the last week or so from that side as well. So also, NASCAR acquiesced and agreed to provide teams with long-term security and assurances the charter system would remain in place. These teams spend a lot of money on these charters. They don't want it to see it go away. And NASCAR always says, well, the charters might go away. Well, NASCAR apparently in that settlement conference said, no, we'll keep the charter system moving forward as well. NASCAR also assured, according to these sources, it would not seek to eliminate the system in 2031. Well, why that date? Well, that's the current end date here of the 7-year charter agreement that they just started last year, which started this lawsuit. And then there's an option for another 7 years at that point as well. So NASCAR's acquiesced that charter systems is here to stay through 2031 moving forward as well. So last Wednesday, apparently the Evergreen Charters concept was largely agreed upon in that settlement talk as well. NASCAR agreed to return 2311 Front Row Motorsports, 6 combined charters. They, of course, lost that during this ongoing litigation as well. These charters are valued at about $300 million, all 6 of them, in that time frame as well, based off of the recent sales side as well. The last charter was sold for $45 million from that perspective. So NASCAR, I believe that's the big hang-up here. You give them back their charters. You say the charters are going. There's going to be a settlement in this deal because that's what 2311 and Front Row Motorsports wants as well. Things. So where they fell apart, according to these sources, and again, I'm reading this on the Athletic had this out. I'm reading it on J-Ski right now, but NASCAR had this out earlier. The talks fell apart because of another issue that has arisen over this lawsuit period as well. Who's responsible for paying the legal fees, which are estimated at $100 million when combined for both sides, NASCAR and the team side as well? 2311 and Front Row insisted on being reimbursed for money lost while competing without charters after losing their preliminary injunction status in September. They want all the money that they would be owed if they were a charter system. That's going to be a hang-up. Hey, you took this lawsuit on? You want to settle? You pay your own legal. We both pay our own legal fees, and we move on with it. The money of lost charter money here since September is going to be a huge sticking point, I believe. They 2311 Front Row Motorsport want that money back. Now, do you split it? Do you just say no? And that's what's going to be the hang-up moving forward at this point. 2311 and Front Row Motorsport want all that money, including legal fees as well coming up. NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps is working to reach that agreement. He's calling members of both parties to settle this lawsuit. They want to settle it this week, like I said, before the championship 4 as well. This is going to be interesting. Denny Hamlin is one of the final 4 participants for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Cup Series. He's also part owner of 2311 with Michael Jordan. NASCAR could be handing Denny Hamlin the championship trophy in Phoenix on Sunday in the midst of this lawsuit and all of this stuff going on out there. Boy, will that be fun to see happen if that does, in fact, happen out there. That's the update right now. I'm sure on Thursday we'll have some more updates for you. Follow me at the Pit Stop Talk on X. That's the social media where we follow everything NASCAR. I will be out at the race this weekend as well, obviously live tweeting and talking about things out there. So follow me at this Pit Stop Talk as we get into this championship 4 racing weekend. Coming up this weekend, look ahead show on Thursday of this week. Robat TV, free YouTube page, free podcast system, however you want to see us there. Come and join us, would you? We'll see you then, everybody. Have a great week. Championships are coming this weekend, folks. See y'all next time.